I want to speak to you today about COVID and what our response should be as we go through this pandemic. This has been such a terrible thing that has been thrust on the whole world. And a lot of people have a lot of legitimate questions. And one of the biggest questions is this: why? Why is this happening? Why is this happening to me, to my family, to the whole world? What's taking place? And let me just say, there's no easy answer to that. In fact, there's multiple answers to that. And people have been debating that question from the very beginning of the history of mankind. Why do bad things take place? Why do people suffer? Why do we go through these things? If God is good, why then do we have these things happen to us? Well, let me say to you that there are multiple answers to that. And I think the first answer is, I don't know. You see, we don't know everything about life. We only know finitely why things happen and what happens. And we have limited knowledge of a lot of things. Even though we think we're smart, and even though we think we know a lot of things, there's so much we don't know. God is so much bigger than us. And so I don't know why all of this has happened. I don't know why my sister passed from this. I don't know why my brother is in serious condition in the hospital, and it breaks my heart to see and hear of what's going on with him. I don't understand why that happens. But I think I know what. You say, what are you talking about? I know what God is trying to do in our lives. As Christians, as followers of Jesus, I think the Bible gives us a clear answer to what. You see, the Apostle Paul wrote in Philippians chapter 3 and verse 10, and he said, that I might know Him in the power of His resurrection and the fellowship of His sufferings, being made conformable unto His death. You see, in suffering, God often works in our lives to conform us into the image of Jesus. I don't understand the why of suffering, but I do know this: my greatest times of growth in the Christian life have come when I've suffered. I don't understand about my sister or my brother why all of this happens, but I know this. I know that God is on His throne, and I know that Christ is working in me to conform me and to make me more like Jesus. You see, in my Christian life, I've discovered this: there are mountaintops and there are valleys. God works in the power of His resurrection and reveals Himself to us in His power and His extraordinary power. And then there are times in which He reveals Himself in His suffering. But in both cases, He conforms us. He makes us into the image of Christ. And oh, the goal of my life is to be like Jesus. I long to be like Him more than anything else. And you need to long to be like Him. So don't just go through suffering and pain and this time of pandemic and let it just pass through your life and say, oh, I hope I make it and survive. But let this be a time of you getting to know Christ in the power of His resurrection, in the fellowship of His sufferings, and let Him conform you and make you and mold you into His image. Oh, if we come out of that with that, I believe that we will see a great revival, because God is wanting to work in and through people who are becoming like Jesus. So allow God to make you more like Jesus. Don't waste your sorrows. Don't waste your suffering, but embrace them and let Christ make you into His image.